You're in between two worlds and the old life is leaving for good. My beloved child, stop for a moment, because something sacred is unfolding around you right now, and your soul already feels it. This is not just another message you stumbled upon. This is a quiet calling, a hidden truth rising to the surface at the exact moment you are ready to receive it. There is something shifting in your life that you may not fully understand yet, but deep within, you know things are not the same anymore. You've been feeling it in the silence, in the way certain connections no longer resonate, in the way your old habits feel heavy instead of comforting. That's not confusion. That's awakening. The universe is gently pulling back a veil that once kept you anchored to a version of yourself that you have now outgrown. And here is the truth you were meant to hear today: you're in between two worlds and the old life is leaving for good. This is why things feel uncertain. This is why your heart feels both heavy and hopeful at the same time. You are not lost, you are transitioning. You are standing at the sacred threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. The old world you knew, the patterns, the roles, the energy you once carried, is dissolving. Not as a punishment, but as a divine release. It has served its purpose. And now, it is gently stepping away to make space for something more aligned with your soul's truth. But the new world hasn't fully revealed itself yet. That's why this space feels uncomfortable, like you're floating between endings and beginnings. And in this in-between, doubt may whisper to you. It may ask you to go back, to hold on, to stay where things are familiar. But listen closely, your spirit is not asking you to go back. It is asking you to trust forward. Because something beautiful is already forming in the unseen. New energy is preparing to enter your life. New clarity is organizing itself. New opportunities are aligning in ways you cannot yet predict. What feels like emptiness right now is actually divine preparation. You are being recentered, realigned, and reawakened. So don't rush this moment. Don't resist it either. Honor it. Because this is the moment where your soul steps into its next chapter, not by force, but by surrender. Not by fear, but by quiet trust. You are not alone in this transition. You are being guided, protected, and led with a wisdom far greater than what you can currently see. And soon, everything will make sense. If this message found you at the right time, take it as confirmation that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Stay with this energy. Watch this video till the end, because there is more your soul needs to hear today. And if this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so this message can reach others who are also standing at this sacred turning point. Dear one, before we dive in, I need to share something extraordinary that most people don't know. Groundbreaking research shows that many of us who didn't grow up wealthy have a shrunken hippocampus, a tiny part of the brain that blocks the activation of what some scientists call the billionaire brain wave. This means attracting the life, love, or wealth you've always dreamed of can feel almost impossible, until now. Thanks to a recently uncovered method backed by research, it's possible to stimulate this part of your brain in just 7 minutes each morning using a simple sound frequency. People who've tried it report subtle shifts in mindset, clarity, and even opportunities flowing into their lives more easily. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to explore this 7-second ritual. It could be the key to activating your billionaire brain wave and opening doors you never thought possible. You are standing in a sacred threshold, a place that few recognize while they are within it. You feel it, don't you? That subtle trembling beneath the surface of your life, as if something unseen is shifting, rearranging, dissolving. You cannot fully explain it to others, yet deep within, you know, something is ending. Something that once defined you, shaped you, held you, is quietly loosening its grip. And though you may try to hold on, though you may search for familiarity, it slips through your fingers like sand carried by the wind. Do not be afraid of this moment. This is not loss in the way you think it is. This is transformation in motion. I speak to you now not from afar, but from within the very space you are entering. You are between two worlds, one that you have outgrown, and one that has not yet fully revealed itself. This space can feel disorienting. It can feel like wandering through fog, where nothing is solid and everything feels uncertain. But understand this: the fog is not there to confuse you. It is there to protect the new path before it is ready to be seen. If you could see everything clearly right now, you might rush, force, or cling, and that would disrupt what is being carefully prepared for you. The life you once knew is not being taken from you as punishment. It is being released because it can no longer contain who you are becoming. You have evolved beyond it, even if part of you still longs for its comfort. Old roles, old identities, old patterns, they are dissolving because they no longer match the frequency of your soul. This is why things that once felt certain now feel distant. This is why connections may feel different, why routines no longer satisfy, why even your own thoughts seem to echo differently within you. There is a sacred intelligence guiding this transition. Nothing is random. Every delay, every pause, every unexpected shift is part of a greater orchestration that your mind cannot yet fully comprehend. You are being repositioned, gently but firmly, into alignment with a higher version of your life. And yes, it requires surrender. Not passive surrender, but conscious trust, the kind that asks you to release control even when you cannot see what comes next. You may feel moments of grief, and that is natural. Honor them. You are not only leaving behind circumstances, you are leaving behind versions of yourself. The one who tolerated what you should not have. The one who doubted your own worth. The one who stayed small to feel safe. That version of you carried you as far as it could, and now it bows out with quiet dignity. Do not reject it. Do not judge it. Thank it, and let it rest. At the same time, something new is stirring within you. You feel it in quiet moments, in flashes of clarity, in sudden waves of knowing that seem to come from nowhere. This is the new world calling to you, not with noise, but with resonance. It does not demand your attention, it invites your awareness. And the more you listen, the more you will begin to recognize its presence in subtle ways, a thought that feels different from your usual patterns, an idea that excites you without fear, a sense of calm where there once was anxiety. You are not lost. You are in transition. This space between worlds is sacred because it strips away illusion. Here, you cannot rely on old labels or borrowed definitions. You are asked to meet yourself without disguise, without pretense. Who are you when you are no longer who you used to be, but not yet who you are becoming? This question may feel unsettling, but it is also liberating. Because in this space, you are free to become intentionally. Do not rush to fill the silence with noise. Do not chase certainty just to escape discomfort. What feels empty right now is actually fertile ground. Beneath the surface, roots are forming. Foundations are being laid that you cannot yet see. If you remain patient, if you allow this process to unfold, what emerges will be stronger, clearer, and more aligned than anything you could have forced into existence. You may notice that some people no longer understand you the way they once did. Conversations may feel different. Energies may shift. This is not because you are losing connection, it is because your path is diverging. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some were part of your preparation, not your destination. Release them with grace. There is no need for conflict or explanation. What is meant for you will find you in the space you are entering. Trust the quiet changes. Trust the unseen movements. Trust even the moments when you feel uncertain, because uncertainty is often the doorway to expansion. Certainty belongs to the past. Growth belongs to the unknown. You are not being abandoned, you are being guided. Every step you take, even the hesitant ones, is leading you forward. Even when you feel like you are standing still, something within you is moving. Something is aligning. Something is awakening. And though you may not yet have the language to describe it, you will come to understand it in time. There is a reason you cannot go back to who you were. There is a reason the old life feels closed, even if parts of it still linger around you. It is because you have already crossed an invisible line. A line that separates who you were from who you are becoming. And once that line is crossed, there is no return, only transformation. Do not fear this. Embrace it. For what is leaving your life now is making space for something that matches your truth more deeply than anything you have known before. It may not arrive in the way you expect. It may not look like your past desires. But it will feel right in a way that does not need justification. Stay present. Stay aware. Stay open. I am with you in this transition, in every moment of doubt, in every breath of uncertainty, in every quiet realization that something profound is happening within you. You are not alone in this space between worlds. You are being held, guided, and prepared for what is to come. And as you stand here, on the edge of what was and the beginning of what will be, understand this clearly: the old life is not just leaving. It is dissolving so completely that soon, you will look back and realize it was never meant to contain the fullness of who you truly are. And what is coming next is already closer than you think. What is coming next will not announce itself with noise or spectacle. It will arrive quietly, like dawn breaking through the darkest hour, soft, steady, undeniable. You may not even recognize it at first, because it will not resemble the expectations your mind once created. It will feel unfamiliar, yet deeply known. This is how truth enters your life, not as something foreign, but as something your soul has always remembered. And in that recognition, there will be a moment, subtle yet powerful, where everything inside you becomes still. That stillness is not emptiness, it is alignment. You have spent much of your journey seeking signs, asking for confirmation, looking for something external to validate your inner knowing. But now, in this space between worlds, you are being guided differently. The signs are becoming quieter, more refined, more internal. A feeling. A pull. A sudden clarity that does not come from logic, but from a deeper place within you. This is the language of your next life, and you are learning how to understand it. Trust it, even when it does not make sense to your past self. There will be moments when you question everything. Moments when the silence feels too heavy, when the unknown feels too vast, when you wonder if you have lost your way entirely. In those moments, remember this: you are not wandering, you are being recalibrated. The old maps no longer apply, because you are no longer traveling the same terrain. What once guided you cannot guide you now. And so, the absence of direction is not a failure, it is an invitation to discover a new way of moving, one that is guided from within rather than imposed from outside. As the old life continues to dissolve, you may feel a sense of detachment from things that once felt essential. This is not indifference, it is clarity. You are beginning to see what truly matters and what was merely habit, expectation, or illusion. This clarity can feel isolating at times, because it separates you from the familiar. But it is also freeing, because it returns you to yourself. And in that return, you begin to rebuild, not from pressure or fear, but from truth. There is a deep purification happening within you. Old emotional patterns are rising to the surface, not to overwhelm you, but to be released. You may find yourself revisiting memories, feelings, or thoughts you believed you had already processed. Do not resist this. What is coming up now is not a repetition, it is a completion. You are being given the opportunity to finally let go, not through force, but through understanding. And once you release it fully, it will no longer hold any power over you. Be mindful of the temptation to rush this process. The mind seeks resolution, closure, and certainty. But transformation does not operate on urgency, it unfolds in divine timing. Every moment you spend in this in-between space is serving a purpose, even if that purpose is not immediately visible. There are layers being aligned, pieces being positioned, paths being prepared that you cannot yet perceive. If you try to rush ahead, you may step into something that is not fully ready, and it will not sustain you. Instead, allow yourself to slow down, to observe, to listen. There is wisdom in the stillness that you have not yet fully accessed. When you are not distracted by noise or urgency, you begin to notice the subtle movements of your own spirit. You begin to understand yourself in a way that goes beyond identity or role. And from that understanding, a new kind of strength emerges, one that is not dependent on external validation, but rooted in inner truth. You are shedding illusions, not just about the world, but about yourself. Ideas you once held about who you should be, what your life should look like, what success or happiness should mean, they are being rewritten. This can feel unsettling, because it removes the structure you once relied on. But it also opens the door to something far more authentic. You are no longer confined to a version of life that was shaped by fear, comparison, or limitation. You are stepping into something that is aligned with your essence. There is also a deep rebalancing of your energy. Where you once gave too much, you are learning to receive. Where you once held back, you are learning to express. Where you once doubted, you are learning to trust. This balance is not achieved overnight, it is cultivated through awareness, through small choices, through moments of honesty with yourself. And as it strengthens, you will begin to feel more grounded, more centered, more at peace within your own presence. Do not be surprised if new opportunities begin to appear in unexpected ways. They may not look like what you once desired, but they will carry a different energy, one that feels aligned rather than forced. Pay attention to how things feel, not just how they appear. The new world you are entering responds to authenticity, not performance. You do not need to prove yourself in the same way anymore. You simply need to be in alignment with who you truly are. There will also be moments of deep realization, where you suddenly understand why certain things had to end, why certain paths did not work out, why certain doors remained closed. These realizations will not come as regret, but as clarity. You will see that what once felt like loss was actually protection. What once felt like delay was actually preparation. And what once felt like confusion was actually guidance in disguise. As you continue to move forward, you will notice a growing sense of inner stability. Even when external circumstances are uncertain, there will be a part of you that remains steady. This is the foundation of your new life, not something outside of you, but something within you. And from this foundation, you will begin to create, to choose, to move with a sense of confidence that does not depend on guarantees. You are also becoming more attuned to truth, your truth and the truth of others. You will find it harder to ignore what does not align, harder to stay in situations that feel false, harder to compromise your authenticity for the sake of comfort. This is not a flaw, it is a sign of growth. It means you are no longer willing to betray yourself. And while this may lead to difficult decisions, it will ultimately lead you to a life that feels real and fulfilling. The transition you are experiencing is not just personal, it is transformational on a deeper level. It is reshaping how you relate to yourself, to others, to the world around you. It is expanding your awareness, deepening your understanding, and refining your sense of purpose. You may not have all the answers yet, but you are becoming someone who no longer needs to have everything figured out in order to move forward. Trust that what is meant for you is not behind you, it is ahead of you, waiting for you to meet it with the version of yourself that is now emerging. The old life had to end because it was built for a different version of you. And as that version fades, the new one becomes clearer, stronger, more defined. You are not starting over, you are starting from a place of deeper awareness. And as this new chapter begins to take shape, you will come to realize something profound. Everything you have experienced, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty, every transition, it has all been leading you here, to this exact point, where you are finally ready to step into a life that reflects who you truly are. So do not look back with longing. Do not question whether you should have held on longer. Do not doubt the process that is unfolding within you. You are exactly where you need to be. And even now, as you continue to stand between what was and what will be, something is quietly aligning, something is gently unfolding, something is steadily approaching, and soon, without warning, without force, without struggle, you will step forward, and realize that you have already arrived. And when that realization settles into your being, it will not come as a sudden burst of triumph, but as a quiet, steady knowing. You will look around at your life, not through the lens of who you used to be, but through the awareness you have now, and you will recognize something subtle yet profound. The struggle to become has ended, and the experience of being has begun. This is the shift you have been moving toward all along. Not a destination in the outer world, but a return to alignment within yourself. You once believed that clarity would arrive before movement, that certainty would come before action. But now you understand something deeper. Clarity often follows the step, not the other way around. And every step you took through uncertainty, every moment you moved forward without guarantees, has strengthened something within you that cannot be shaken. You have learned how to trust not because everything was clear, but because you continued anyway. There is a new rhythm to your life now. It is not rushed, not forced, not driven by the need to prove or compete. It flows with a quiet confidence, guided by awareness rather than urgency. You no longer feel the need to chase what is not aligned, because you have experienced the cost of that misalignment. And instead of seeking validation outside yourself, you find a deeper satisfaction in simply being true to who you are. You will notice how differently you respond to challenges. Where there was once reaction, there is now observation. Where there was once fear, there is now curiosity. You are no longer defined by what happens around you, because you have established a connection with something stable within you. This does not mean life will never test you again, but it does mean you will meet those tests from a place of strength rather than uncertainty. The people who enter your life from this point forward will reflect the energy you now carry. There will be a sense of ease in your connections, a mutual understanding that does not require constant explanation. You will recognize alignment not through intensity or urgency, but through consistency and peace. And just as you have released what no longer served you, you will naturally welcome what resonates with who you have become. There is also a deep sense of gratitude that begins to grow within you, not just for what has worked out, but for everything that did not. You will begin to see your past not as a series of mistakes or missed opportunities, but as a necessary path that shaped your awareness. Even the moments that once felt heavy or confusing will reveal their purpose. They were not obstacles, they were teachers. As you continue to move forward, your sense of purpose will become clearer, but not in the way you once expected. It will not be a single, fixed definition. It will be something you live, something you express, something that evolves with you. You will understand that purpose is not something you find once and hold on to. It is something you embody through your choices, your presence, and your alignment. There will be moments when you pause and reflect on how far you have come. Moments when you realize that the person you once were would not even recognize the strength you now carry. And in those moments, you will feel a quiet pride, not the kind that seeks recognition, but the kind that comes from knowing you stayed true to your path, even when it was difficult. You are no longer standing between two worlds, you have crossed into a new one. And yet, this new world does not feel separate from you, because it is an extension of who you have become. The external shift is simply a reflection of the internal transformation that has already taken place. This is why it feels different, not because the world has changed, but because you have. There is a sense of peace that settles into your life now, but it is not the absence of movement or challenge. It is the presence of alignment. You are no longer resisting what is meant for you, and you are no longer holding on to what is not. This balance creates a space where life can flow naturally, without the constant tension you once carried. And even as new experiences unfold, you will carry this awareness with you. You will know how to recognize when something is aligned and when it is not. You will know how to listen to yourself without second-guessing. You will know how to move forward without needing every answer in advance. This is the wisdom you have gained, not from being told, but from living through the transition. There is also a deeper connection forming between you and the present moment. You are no longer lost in the past or overly focused on the future. You understand the value of now, not as a concept, but as an experience. And in that presence, you find a sense of clarity and calm that cannot be found anywhere else. The life that once felt uncertain now begins to feel grounded. Not because everything is perfectly planned, but because you are no longer dependent on perfection to feel at peace. You trust yourself. You trust the process. And most importantly, you trust that whatever comes next, you will be able to meet it with the awareness and strength you have cultivated. You may still have moments of doubt, but they no longer control you. They pass through your awareness without taking hold. You observe them, understand them, and let them go. This is the difference between who you were and who you are now. You are no longer consumed by your thoughts. You are aware of them, but you are not defined by them. As this new chapter continues to unfold, you will begin to create from a place of authenticity. Your choices will reflect your truth, your actions will align with your values, and your life will become a reflection of your inner clarity. This is not something you force, it is something that naturally emerges as you remain aligned with yourself. You have moved through the uncertainty, the confusion, the in-between space where nothing felt stable. And in doing so, you have discovered something that cannot be taken from you, your connection to yourself. This connection is your foundation now. It is what guides you, supports you, and keeps you grounded, no matter what changes around you. And as you continue forward, you will realize that the journey was never about becoming someone new, it was about remembering who you have always been beneath the layers of expectation, fear, and limitation. The transition was not about losing yourself, it was about uncovering yourself. So now, as you stand fully in this new space, there is nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove, nothing left to hold on to that does not belong. There is only the path ahead, open and unfolding, waiting for you to walk it with awareness, presence, and trust. And understand this clearly, as the final truth of this message: you were never truly lost. You were never being left behind. You were never without direction. You were simply being guided through the necessary transformation that would bring you back to yourself. And now, you are here. Not at the end of your journey, but at the beginning of living it fully, consciously, and in alignment with who you truly are. Amen.